Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. It was an ordinary Tuesday evening when the fabric of my world began to unravel. I was watering the roses in our front yard, the sun setting softly behind the serene row of suburban homes, when I felt a presence behind me. Turning around, I found myself face to face with Leah, our neighbor from 2 doors down. "Hey, Leah," I greeted, slightly surprised by her sudden appearance. She was unusually close, her eyes red as if she had been crying. "Hi, Jake," she responded, her voice trembling. "Can we talk?" "Of course," I said, setting down the watering can. We moved to the porch, the cool breeze of the evening air a stark contrast to the tension that seemed to engulf us. Leah took a deep breath, her eyes meeting mine with an intensity that caught me off guard. "I know this might sound crazy," she started, "but I feel like you're the only one I can talk to right now." Her words piqued my interest, and concern furrowed my brow. "What's going on? Are you okay?" She hesitated, her lips quivering as if she was fighting back tears. Suddenly, she leaned in, her intention clear. Reacting swiftly, I stepped back, raising my hands in a gentle refusal. "Leah, I can't." Before I could finish, Leah burst into tears. The sight stopped me cold, and I instinctively reached out to comfort her, my earlier rejection forgotten. "Leah, what's wrong?" Through sobs, Leah choked out her story. "It's Mark, he's cheating on me. With someone we both know well." My mind raced, but before I could ask for clarification, she continued, "With your wife, Anna." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. "What?" I managed, my voice barely a whisper. "Yes," Leah said, wiping her tears. "I found out last week. I saw them together. I thought, if I could make him feel the pain I felt." Her voice trailed off, lost in regret and sorrow. The revelation hit me like a physical blow. My wife, my Anna, involved with Mark. It couldn't be. Yet, the sincerity in Leah's eyes was unmistakable. I guided Leah inside to sit down, my own shock mirrored on her face. "Thank you for telling me," I said, though each word felt heavier than the last. After Leah left, I sat alone, the silence of the house amplifying the turmoil within. Betrayal, a searing, potent force, took root in my heart. My thoughts turned dark, vengeful. I wouldn't let this go. Anna and Mark would regret the day they decided to deceive us. As night deepened, I plotted my next moves. The love and trust one had for Anna transformed into a strategic, cold resolve. I would gather evidence, confront her, and ensure that the life she knew crumbled around her as mine had tonight. This was just the beginning. The full scope of their betrayal would come to light, and I would be the architect of their undoing. The morning sun barely filters through the curtains, casting a pale glow that does little to lift the darkness that has settled over me since Leah's revelation. My usual morning routine is forgotten as I sit at the kitchen table, my mind racing with plans of confrontation and retribution. As Anna stirs from sleep and eventually joins me in the kitchen, her presence feels alien. She pours herself coffee, oblivious to the storm brewing within me. "Good morning," she says, her voice light, tinged with a cheerfulness that now grates on my nerves. I nod stiffly, my response curt. "Morning." She frowns slightly, sensing the change in my demeanor but not yet the cause. "Is everything okay?" she asks, sitting across from me. "Fine," I reply, though my mind screams otherwise. I watch her, searching her face for any sign of the guilt that must surely be there. But all I see is the familiar features of the woman I thought I knew. Determined to confirm Leah's accusations before I confront Anna, I excuse myself, claiming an early meeting. Instead, I drive to Mark's house. The need for concrete evidence pushes me forward. As I pull up, I see Mark's car in the driveway but no sign of anyone else. My grip tightens on the steering wheel as I consider my next move. With a deep breath, I step out of the car and approach the front door. I knock firmly, ready to face the man who's entangled with my wife. After a few tense moments, Mark answers, his expression one of surprise. "Jake." "What's up?" he asks, his casual demeanor fueling my anger. "We need to talk," I say, my voice hard. Without waiting for an invitation, I step inside, confronting him directly. "It's about Anna." Mark's face falls, the mask slipping as he realizes the gravity of the situation. "What about her?" he asks, trying to maintain his composure. "I know about you too," I state plainly, watching as his face turns pale. "How long has it been going on?" Mark hesitates, then sighs, running a hand through his hair. "Jake, Don't Jake me." "How long?" I press, needing to hear him say it. "A few months," he admits, looking away. "I'm sorry, Jake. It wasn't meant to go this far." The confession is a blow, even though I was prepared for it. I leave Mark's house with a heavy heart, my next steps clear. Gathering evidence is no longer necessary, Mark's admission is enough. I return home, finding Anna in the garden. She looks up, smiling, but the smile fades as she sees my expression. "Jake, what's wrong?" she asks, approaching with concern. "We need to talk," I say, the same words I used with Mark, but this time they signal the end of my marriage. Inside, I confront her with the truth. "I know about you and Mark," I state, watching as her face crumbles with shock and guilt. Anna breaks down, confessing and pleading for forgiveness. But it's too late. The betrayal is too deep, the pain too sharp. "I can't do this, Anna." "It's over," I say firmly, my voice barely a whisper but resolute. Her pleas continue as I walk away, her cries echoing in the empty house. My decision is made. I will divorce her, and she will lose everything she took for granted. My plans for revenge are only just beginning, and I am determined to see them through to the bitter end. In the quiet hours of early morning, I sit at the kitchen table surrounded by documents. My lawyer, Michael, arrives shortly after sunrise, bearing more than just the necessary paperwork for the divorce. He carries a demeanor that suggests he's ready to battle on my behalf. "We need to talk strategy," Michael begins as he lays the files out in front of me. His words are crisp, cutting through the lingering silence of the house. "Considering the circumstances, we should push for more than just a standard settlement. This isn't just about splitting assets." I nod, my resolve hardening. I want everything out in the open. She shouldn't just walk away from this without repercussions. Michael's eyes narrow slightly as he processes my words. "Understood. If you're willing, I suggest we go public. Expose the affair to sway the settlement in your favor, leverage the sympathy." "Let's do it," I agree without hesitation. The thought of public exposure doesn't give me pause, if anything, it fuels the fire of retribution burning within me. As the morning progresses, we draft the initial filings and outline the press release that will turn my personal betrayal into public scandal. With each document signed, I feel a step further away from the man who trusted Anna without question, and a step closer to someone forged by betrayal and hardened by resolve. In the midst of our planning, the doorbell rings, a sound that now seems to herald complications. I open the door to find Leah, her eyes red-rimmed but her posture determined. "Jake, we need to talk," she says, brushing past me into the foyer. Her intrusion feels like an echo of yesterday's revelations. "What's going on, Leah?" I ask, though part of me dreads the answer, fearing more chaos. "It's about the affair. I think we might be dealing with more than just cheating," Leah confesses, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I overheard Mark talking, he's involved in something illegal. I think our spouses might be too." This new angle is a jolt that steals my nerve even further. "Do you have any proof?" Leah nods, pulling out her phone to show me a string of messages she's managed to intercept. I've been keeping tabs on him since I found out. Look at this, she says, scrolling through emails that hint at financial fraud. The revelation adds a complex layer to my strategy. I need copies of everything. This could impact the divorce case significantly, I tell her, my mind racing with the legal implications. Leah agrees, her resolve matching mine. I want them to pay for what they've done, Jake. Not just for the affair, but for everything. After Leah leaves, I call Michael back, updating him with the latest developments. This changes our approach. We might be looking at criminal charges if what Leah says holds up. We'll need to coordinate with the authorities then, Michael advises. Let's gather all the evidence first. The rest of the day is a blur of phone calls, meetings with Michael, and coordination with a private investigator to verify Leah's claims. As evening falls, I feel a grim satisfaction in the progress we've made. My old life with Anna might be shattered, but my new purpose is crystal clear: bring to light every deceit, every lie, and every crime. Sitting alone in the dim light of the living room, I realize the path ahead is fraught with battles, legal, personal, and emotional. But I am ready. The intrigue of the main plot thickens, and with it, my commitment to retribution only deepens. The courthouse looms large as I approach, the gray stones mirroring the storm clouds gathering overhead. Today, the truth will be laid bare, and justice will be served, not just through the divorce but through the exposure of the entire illicit network that Anna and Mark have entwined themselves in. Inside the courtroom, the air is thick with anticipation. Leah sits beside me, her presence a silent support. We exchange a nod, a mutual acknowledgement of the ordeal ahead. My lawyer, Michael, sets his briefcase down with a clack that echoes slightly in the quiet before the storm. As the proceedings commence, Anna and Mark sit together, a united front of nervous glances and whispered consultations with their attorney. They are aware of the charges but not yet of the extent of the evidence against them. The judge calls the session to order, and Michael rises, his presence commanding the room. Your Honor, we are here not just to dissolve a marriage but to reveal a conspiracy that has shattered lives and broken laws. Anna's eyes widen, darting to me with a mix of fear and accusation. I return her gaze with a steely resolve, my heart hardened against any lingering sentiments. Michael presents the case with precision, laying out financial documents, incriminating communications, and witness testimonies that weave a damning narrative. The evidence of embezzlement, fraud, and betrayal fills the room, leaving little space for doubt. As the weight of the evidence becomes apparent, Mark's facade begins to crumble. He leans over, hissing something urgently to Anna, who shakes her head in frantic denial. But it's too late. The room is thick with the scent of their impending downfall. Leah is called to the stand, her testimony about discovering the affair and her subsequent investigation into their business dealings adds a personal touch to the cold facts. Her courage and determination shine through, compelling even the most skeptical onlookers. When it's time for cross-examination, Anna's lawyer tries to discredit Leah, suggesting jealousy and vindictiveness motivated her actions. Leah's response is calm and steadfast. It's not revenge I'm after. It's justice. The climax comes when the prosecutor, acting on the evidence Michael and I provided, steps in. Given the severity of the crimes uncovered during these proceedings, we are moving to press criminal charges against both defendants. A murmur ripples through the courtroom as the reality of the situation settles over Anna and Mark. They exchange a look, a silent communication of shared despair. When the judge adjourns the session, the gavel's fall seems to echo the shattering of their composure. Anna turns to me, tears streaking her face. Jake, There's nothing left to say, Anna, I interrupt, my voice devoid of warmth. The woman I once loved is a stranger to me now, her choices having alienated her from any sympathy I might have once held. Outside the courthouse, the storm breaks, rain sweeping across the city in sheets. Leah and I step into it, the cold droplets mixing with the heat of our victory. As we part ways, I thank her, not just for her bravery, but for standing by the truth. Alone, I watched the rain wash the streets clean. Anna and Mark's deceit had poisoned my past, but this storm, fierce and cleansing, seems a fitting metaphor for my future. The sky will clear, and in its wake, I'll find a new path forward, one marked by a hard-earned wisdom and a resolve forged in the fires of betrayal and retribution.